Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Happy 4th of July, the day we celebrate America and our independence. As we mark this day with cookouts, various parades, and firework displays, we must rededicate ourselves to the causes of real freedom and justice for all. Earlier this summer, I described a very detailed and elaborate plot put on by Donald Trump and his colleagues to fool everyday Americans as they subverted the Constitution. In that plan, I talked about an act of theater put on by the administration by having former Vice President Pence staged a one-man walkout. As they engaged in a course of conduct to undermine and even erode every American's civil rights. The Declaration of Independence states that all men and women are created equal and have certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, we have seen a wave of attacks by these radical conservatives to undermine the very core of what makes America great, our civil rights. Last month, in Texas, just before school let out for summer vacation, a man full of hate open gun fire at an elementary school, killing 30 children and a teacher. Any time a mass killing happens, it reignites an old debate. You heard me condemning not only the hate, but the culture that is fueling this kind of senseless violence. On the day that I am writing this, I saw on my Facebook news feed that the Supreme Court, in a terrible 6-3 decision, gutted the right of privacy, a big victory for the, quote, pro-life movement. The day before, they said that Americans had the right to conceal and carry. I am outraged. Imagine how much better our nation would be if these pro-life bigots were truly for life, and not just pro-birth. Imagine how much more freedom we would get if we left women be, instead of forcing them to do things they are not ready or unable to do. Imagine the conservative parents not disowning their gay and lesbian child, but instead fighting so they can enjoy the same freedoms and rights that we'll enjoy. Imagine how better this nation would be if, instead of policing women and their bodies, we would ban military-style weapons and high-capacity magazines by being owned by civilians. Maybe instead of white crosses along the side of the road, there would be kids swimming, having campouts, and living their lives. Imagine how better this nation would be if we banned politicians from having cups featuring the restaurants who would rather see him and me be both euthanized than get our civil and human rights on his desk. Notice I said him and me. We are both physically disabled. Just imagine if we outlaw conversion therapy and other forms of torture. Imagine a country where we honored our Supreme Court for doing the right thing, instead of making women without any means travel to unsafe, unsanitary, backroom clinics. The 4th should be a celebration of all American pride. After all, even without the historical significance, it is smack dab in the middle of two major events, the Stonewall riots and the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. I believe that it is sad that a major political party likes to put on an elaborate show of patriotism every 4 years, who get celebrities who actually violates the law to speak at their conventions or worse, run for political office. While everyday Americans have to worry at night that when they wake up, they would have to cross the border to get birth control pills or having their families attacked. It is sad that a woman who is a part of the religious cult who believes that women, like herself, should be seen and not heard and be subservient to a man, is on our Supreme Court. It is sad when the political pendulum swings. Americans who are not seen as, quote, normal by the rest of society because of their disability, sexual orientation, and or gender identity are worried they will be denied basic freedoms. When will America wake up? When will we worry about the children who are already here, just as much as we worry about the fetuses who are not even here yet? When will we decide a person's life, even with a disability, matters? Before banning abortions, we must ban suicide training, also known as LGBT conversion therapy. Before banning abortions, we must ban those who are trying to take us back to the awful times like Mike Pence, Justice Kavanaugh, Justice Barrett, and Judge Moore. We will not go back. The House, under Article 3, does have the power to impeach Supreme Court justices, but unfortunately Speaker Pelosi is too weak to go through with it. Article 3 states, quote, the judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior, and shall, at stated times, receive for their services extra. Notice, it says during good behavior. What qualifies as bad behavior? Anything we want. Even if she did the right thing, I doubt that the Senate would not convict. Therefore, we have to suffer. Any time that the Supreme Court takes a hammer and a chisel to Lady Liberty, my heart aches. We have to remember that 3 out of the 9 members who are currently sitting on the court was put there by a conman and insurrectionist. This is not me boo-hooing about Hillary losing an election. This is me stating a proven fact. Therefore, we, the American public, must question the legitimacy of the court. I do not think the court is legitimate until we demand the Trump-appointed justice's removal, either through resignation or impeachment. We cannot truly take their word. The restoration of the Supreme Court must start immediately. Not to do so will be a grave disservice to future generations of Americans. Attacking women, marriage, and family should not be the goal of the Supreme Court. The court's only job is to call balls and strikes without political ties. And they overstepped their boundary. For the Senate to bar a justice of a different party affiliation from getting a single hearing, then ran through 3 who was nominated by a man who just so happened to have a reality competition show, should have every American from across the political spectrum outraged. Notice I did not call him president because he lost the title when he had his supporters attacked our Capitol. In baseball, umpires who take bribes from coaches of teams lose their jobs. That is what should happen to justices on the United States Supreme Court who try changing established precedent that goes in line with our Constitution. I set out to make a video about the 4th of July and how wonderful America is. Reading over the script, I unfortunately found out that our government is very unprofessional and the Supreme Court justices, who should be champions of civil and human rights, become the villains. Hopefully, next year, I could be happier. Don't forget to like this video. It has really helps out the algorithm, and hit the subscribe button. I will see you soon.